All right, everybody, welcome back to the deep dive.
Back again.
You know how we do it here? We like to just pick a topic,
Front end.
just dive right in. And today we're going to be talking about a company called Kazarma Consulting.
Okay.
So kind of an interesting one, their consulting company. But what really caught my eye was the name Kazarma Consulting.
Yeah. What is that all about?
Well, it actually comes from the Kazarma Bridge, which is the oldest known bridge in all of Europe.
Wow. The oldest.
They say they're all about like bridging the gap, between organizations and their goals and their customers.
It makes sense, right? It's a consulting company, so you're trying to help people get from where they are to where they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. This is a theme we're going to see throughout their whole website. I'm kind of interested to hear your take on it as we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just jump right into it. What do they actually do?
Sure.
They've got a bunch of services listed on their website. Strategy, execution, bid management.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, and research studies.
Okay, so a lot of different things.
That's a pretty wide range. What do you think that says about them as a company?
Well, they're trying to be a one-stop shop, right? Like they want to be able to help you with any problem that you might have as an organization.
Yeah, so if I come to them with like some crazy problem,
They've got a solution.
they're like, yeah, don't worry, we do that.
Exactly. And, it kind of makes sense, right? Because if you think about like strategy and execution, those two things go hand in hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they kind of go together.
Right. So you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't execute it,
It doesn't matter.
it's worthless, right?
It's like having the best recipe, but not knowing how to cook.
Exactly.
Then bid management, I feel like that's a very niche.
Yeah, it is a little bit more specialized.
What do you think they actually do with that?
I'm imagining it's like, if you're a company and you're trying to get a big contract, they come in and they help you put together your bid. They help you kind of make sure that you're highlighting all the right things and you're putting your best foot forward.
Interesting, like a government contract or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like a government contract, or even like a private sector contract if it's a really big deal.
So they're like the closer.
Yeah.
They help you seal the deal.
They help you win that business.
That's cool.
And then research studies, that could be anything from market research to, competitive intelligence.
Yeah, that's super broad.
It is, but, I think it kind of speaks to the fact that they want to be able to base their recommendations on data.
Oh, so it all kind of ties back
Yeah.
in the strategy and the execution.
Exactly. They want to make sure that they're not just giving you their opinion, they're giving you something that's based on actual evidence.
So they're not just like some consultants that just show up and tell you what they think.
Exactly.
They actually go and do the work.
Yeah, they do the research, they figure out what's going on in your industry, what your competitors are doing.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they use that to inform their recommendations.
I like that.
It makes sense, right? You wouldn't want to go to a doctor who just kind of guessed at what was wrong with you.
Right.
You'd want them to actually run some tests.
Yeah, do some blood work.
Do some blood work, figure out what's going on, and then give you a diagnosis.
So it's the same kind of thing, but for your business.
Exactly.
I like that.
And you know what else I thought was interesting was their tagline.
Oh yeah, their tagline, Quo Vadis.
Quo Vadis.
And it's got like the colon, and then it says, where are we going?
It's like very dramatic,
It sounds like a movie.
It does. It sounds like a movie, and it's also like a very ancient question, right? Like Quo Vadis, that's Latin.
Yeah, it is Latin. It makes sense with the whole bridge thing too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It kind of ties back to that idea of we've been doing this for a long time. We have a lot of experience.
We've seen it all.
We've seen it all, and we can help you figure out where you're going.
But I also like that it puts the focus on the client.
Yes.
Right? It's like, where are WE going? It's not like we're going to tell you where you're going.
Yeah, it's a collaborative approach.
It's like we're going to work together to figure out what your goals are and how to get you there.
And it kind of puts the onus on the organization to really think about that question, right? Like, where do we want to be in 5 years and 10 years?
Yeah. Are we on the right track? Are we,
Yeah, are we going in the right direction?
I like that.
And I think it kind of sets the stage for, their whole approach, which is very much about partnering with their clients.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
So overall, I think it's a very effective tagline.
Yeah, it's catchy, it's memorable.
Yeah, you're not going to forget it.
It's definitely unique.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to their values.
All right.
So they list 5 core values: integrity, passion, customer-oriented simplicity, and analytical. But I do like how they emphasize simplicity.
Yeah, that one kind of jumped out at me too because, a lot of times consulting can be very complex.
Yeah, you can get in the weeds.
Yeah, it can get really in the weeds and, you can end up with these like huge reports that nobody understands.
Right.
So I think it's interesting that they're really emphasizing simplicity.
Do you think that's actually possible, though? Like to simplify complex business challenges?
I mean, I think it's definitely something to strive for, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you can't communicate your solutions in a way that people can understand,
It's not very helpful.
then it's not going to be effective.
Right.
So I think it's more about like finding that balance between, being rigorous and thorough,
Yeah.
but also making sure that your recommendations are clear and actionable.
Yeah, I like that. And I think it kind of ties back to that analytical value, too.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to make sure that their recommendations are based on data.
Exactly. And that they're using that data to kind of cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter.
Right.
And I think that's something that a lot of organizations struggle with is like they have all this data.
Yeah, but they don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do with it.
It's like having all the ingredients but not knowing how to make the dish.
Exactly. And so Kazarma is coming in and saying like, we can help you with that. We can help you analyze your data.
Turn it into something useful.
Turn it into something useful and then use that to make better decisions.
So they're like data chefs.
Yeah, they're data chefs.
Like that.
I like that too.
Okay, so anything else on their website that caught your eye?
Well, they've got this standard contact info, email, LinkedIn,
Yeah, they've got all that.
but then they also have a cookie policy,
Oh, yeah, the cookie policy.
which, might seem like a small thing,
Right.
but I think it's actually really important because it shows that they're aware of data privacy concerns,
That's a good point,
which is, a big issue these days,
especially in Europe.
especially in Europe. Exactly. So I think it's a good sign that they're being transparent about how they use data.
Yeah, I think it shows that they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, and that they're a company that you can trust.
Absolutely.
So overall, I think Kazarma Consulting is a really interesting company.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot to offer.
They do, and I think that bridge metaphor is really effective.
It's definitely memorable.
It is, and it really speaks to their core values of connecting people and helping them achieve their goals.
All right, so to wrap things up, what's the takeaway for our listeners today?
Well, I think if you're an organization that's looking for help with strategy execution, bid management, or research studies,
Kazarma Consulting is definitely worth checking out.
they have a lot of experience. They're data-driven, and they're committed to providing clear and simple solutions.
And they've got a cool name.
And they've got a cool name.
So yeah, go check them out.
And think about, what bridges does your organization need to build
Oh, that's a good one.
to reach its full potential?
I like that.
Maybe Kazarma is the partner that can help you do that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's the deep dive for today. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.